All right, so I was on a coaching call recently and got a really good question. And the owner asked if it was reasonable that they went to a less frequent mailing schedule for the patient newsletter. And I asked, well, why would you want to do that? And he said, well, for this section of my business, I'm not quite getting the response that I'm looking for. And I want to show you a smarter way that you can look at it. And by the way, as soon as we went through this, he got it right away and he said, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So what happens for most practices, hopefully, is as we go along, if we plot it out and our x-axis is time, so I just put up 2003, that was the year I opened my practice, maybe you're 1993 or you're 2013, whatever that is, but it's the same idea. And as we go along, we should be adding more and more patients to our list. So the y-axis is number of patients on your list. But this list should be growing. So when I started, I was at 0, and today I'm around 8,000. So you're going to have this for your private practice. Maybe you're growing faster, maybe you're growing slower. The principles will be exactly the same. And I said, okay, well, when you did your greatest promotion ever, did you get any response at all? And he said, well, yeah, we had people respond. And I said, great, how many did you have? And then he gave the number, and I said, okay, so well, what you can do is you can go back and look at your entire patient list, and I think he had around 5,000 people. So let's say this is 5,000, and he noted the cost on the total number of mailing that total number. And I said, okay, well, so you're looking to save money? And he said, yeah, absolutely. And I said, well, let's just get smarter about the money that you're spending. I would not decrease the frequency because monthly has been shown anywhere between 3 and 6 weeks is the range there, is the sweet spot. I wouldn't decrease that, but maybe we can target people who are most likely to respond. And so I said, okay, so out of the 5,000, how many people did you have respond to the greatest promotion ever? And I think he said something like 10. So he had 10 greatest promotion evers. And I said, well, go back and plot that on a timeline and find out when those people were patients. So like what you should see is like maybe we had one who was a patient back in like 2007. And then like everybody else is out here. They're more recent on the timeline. So we can go back and we can say, okay, well, let's cut the list off right there and we'll eliminate maybe 2,000 names. So now you're only mailing 3,000. But these are 3,000 people that are the most likely to respond. And it's really, really important that you understand that. First, realize, out of everybody in your area, so let's say you live in an area where there's 100,000 people. Out of everybody in your area, who's most likely to respond to anything that you offer? So whether you offer it on, and I don't care where it's at, Facebook, in a print ad, postcard, newsletter, anywhere at all, with any sort of media, the person that is most likely to respond is the person who's bought from you in the past. That's true for any business. It's a principle, it's a long-standing truth, and you'll be very hard-pressed to disprove that. Now, there is a key to that. So the first thing we want to look at is past buyers. The second thing that we can look at is, it's called recency. So if somebody came to you for physical therapy, let's say it was 10 years ago, they are less likely to respond than somebody who came to you 3 months ago. So you can use that. And again, I don't think I know many times I'm asked, well, should I cut my newsletter list off, my patient list off at 5 years? Well, I don't know. And you don't know either. And really what you should do is go back and test it. So once you run a greatest promotion ever, what you can do is just go plot this out on a timeline, and you're going to see a very clear demarcation point of where most of your responders are. If they're all within the last 3 years, well, then you can cut it off at 3 years. If they're all within the last 7, then you cut it off at 7. But you want to take a very good guess at where you can spend your dollars the most efficiently and get the best response. However, I don't think that's by decreasing frequency. I think it's mailing to a list that is more targeted, and that includes your past patient list. So hopefully that makes sense. As always, if you have a question, just type in hashtag AskChad and your question, and I'll make sure to answer it on one of these videos. Leave a comment below. Let me know how this has helped you. Give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you want to do. So I'll talk to you soon. See ya.